at the Springfield Exposition Center in downtown Springfield. I don't know if you gentlemen have had an opportunity to see that facility, but they built it just a few years ago. It's beautiful. It's probably one of the premier expo facilities in Missouri, the Midwest. So we are extremely excited about having our inaugural expo there, and we're also genuinely excited about having you two gentlemen there as our speakers. I think we're going to have a wonderful event, and we want to encourage your listeners to come on down May 14th and 15th. You can check out our website. It's usaprepares.com, and just want to encourage your listeners to go to the website, and we have a Contact Us page there. Go there, fill out the information, send us an email, and we are going to randomly draw 10 people out of the hat in the next couple of days and give away tickets to the expo event. If you show up the day of, it's going to cost you all around $10, but we're going to give away 10 tickets in the next couple of days. So go to usaprepares.com and shoot us an email, and maybe you'll be a lucky winner today.
Okay, have you had many? Of course, we're looking at May, and here we're sitting in 2 feet of snow. How much snow did you get in the Springfield area?
I tell you, we got about a foot, and I tell you what, it's so cold in Springfield today that the Warriors have their hands in their own pockets. I mean, it is cold. I'm telling you, it's so cold down here, Derry and Richard, that Bill Clinton is actually sleeping with his own wife these days. I mean, it is cold.
No way.
I didn't know you were a stand-up comic.
Well, I tell you, I spent about 4 hours out on my corner lot yesterday shoveling snow, and I tell you, it's just ridiculous. It's so cold down here. They actually shut down school today, and they hadn't done that in a while in Springfield. But I think we'll recover.
Yeah, it was 13 degrees, and you know it's kind of funny how I have when I got up, I looked at I have one of those indoor-outdoor thermometers, and the one that's in the house said it was 13 degrees outside. I got in my pickup and started to leave, and immediately dropped down to 13 degrees. I hadn't gone but a few miles, and it was up to 6 degrees below zero, and then it was back down to 8 degrees, and then as I got in closer to town, it was 13 degrees below zero again. You know, it depends upon where you live as to what the temperature is. Anyhow, we're going to take a quick break here. We'll be right back. Mark, stand by. We'll keep you on the air for a few more minutes. We're visiting today with Richard Mack. We're talking about usaprepares.com Expo coming up in Springfield, Missouri, May 14th and 15th. Stay tuned. And we're back. We're visiting today with Richard Mack, and we also have Mark Wright with us. Mark is one of the founders of this usaprepares.com Expo that's coming up. You know, yesterday, I don't know whether you listened yesterday or not, Mark, to our program, but we had, I was at home doing the show. As I said, we were snowed in, but we had Craig Smith on the air with us. And Craig, for a long time, he'd say, you know, he said, I've got faith in this. We're going to come out of this system, this financial situation that we're in. Well, here not too long ago, he came out with his book, Crashing the Dollar. And he has totally changed his attitude. Now, I have thought all along, I just don't see how. When we have, I don't care what the stock market does. I heard just a minute ago on the news, stock market was up just a couple points today. It was at 12,041 or something like that. I don't care what the stock market does. We don't see any more jobs being taken. We don't see any more homes that are not being foreclosed upon. In other words, all of the things that really determine what our economy is, I don't see any changes except in this stock market, and I totally believe that the bankers are pushing that stock market up with some of that money that they got from the federal government.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would agree with that assessment. You know, the USA Preparedness is a education-centered organization that is dedicated to improving the emergency lifestyle of American families through our expos, symposiums, and charitable events. And I think that the timing is perfect for a preparedness expo of this kind due to the economic factors that a lot of people are concerned about. Like you and your guest yesterday, there's a concern that we literally are on the verge of a potential economic collapse, and people are interested in getting prepared for that, but a lot of times they just don't know what specifically to do. And so we are going to put this expo together, and we're going to bring premier people. And you heard of Bill Federer. He's a renowned Christian author and a speaker. He just recently did a talk in Springfield about the history of the U.S. and these economic cycles, and was just amazing. He's going to be there as well. We got John Stadtmiller, the owner-operator of Republic Broadcasting Network, is going to be there. We also have Eric Ferris, the head of the Branson Tea Party, who's going to be there and talk about the emergent Tea Party movement here in this country and its effect on government. And so we're going to have a great list of speakers at our various banquet dinners and lunches and breakfasts, along with you and Sheriff Mack. Some of the subjects, Derry, that we're going to be talking about that people might be interested in, we're going to have a lot of different seminars. The way the model is going to be is this, Derry. During the day, we're going to have, probably about 100 exhibitors exhibiting on various subjects like, gardening, planning, preserving, alternative energy, food storage, water filtration, farming equipment, generators, farming animals, you name it, they're going to be there exhibiting, and a lot of the seminars will surround the subjects of the exhibitors. So we'll have the seminars going on throughout the day. It'll be about 30 seminars. We'll have 100 exhibitors going out throughout the day. Then we'll have our speakers during the meals, including you and Sheriff Mack. And then in the evening, we're going to have a gospel concert. I can't reveal right now the names that we're going to have, but these are very recognizable, popular Christian gospel acts that you would know. And so we're going to have the gospel concerts in the evening. So basically, we're going to be talking about physical preparedness during the day. And then in the evening, we're going to be talking about spiritual preparedness, which is just as important. So we're really excited. We think the timing is perfect for an event like this, and we're excited about your listeners coming down and join us.
Okay, we have returned. I have an email here from Vincent Finelli. He says just a short update on the program that's coming up May the 14th and 15th. Larry Pratt of Gun Owners of America is also becoming a part of the expo. He said the only thing is that we all agree with each other. You know, Richard and Mark, it hasn't been too long ago that a lot of folks did not agree with us, that have changed their minds and are beginning to say, we thought those guys were really wackos back 10 years ago when they were talking about things that could possibly be happening or was happening. And now, maybe they were right.
Yeah, and I think that if you look back in history, you can look at the Founding Fathers, Derry, and anybody who looks at our history very seriously will determine that the Founding Fathers were right. This was they were amazing, principled people. They knew and understood the principles of freedom. This isn't anything that is only for the time of 1776. These are eternal principles. They're godly principles. Most of this was based on the biblical principles of allowing people to control their own lives, making their own choices for themselves, and the Constitution actually was devised to protect those God-given rights. And now that people are seeing this, and the Tea Party is becoming a vogue organization, and standing for freedom and American ideals is now becoming a real issue all across the country. People are waking up and actually seeing that the Founding Fathers were right, and some of the other groups today, like Gun Owners of America and Mark Wright and Vincent Finelli and the Sheriff Max, are not just a bunch of kooks, but these are things that and people that have stood for freedom for a long time before it was a vogue issue.
You know, I watched, and I'm sure most of us did, over the weekend, and then again I was home 2 days this week, which I hadn't counted on, but I watched a good bit of news, and you could see what was going on over in Cairo, Egypt. And
Right.
Now the thing has turned pretty nasty. They're actually fighting now. But there's hundreds of thousands of people there. I mean, there's no doubt about how many there are. You can't count them; they're too numerous to count. But things are not good. They're throwing Molotov cocktails off of buildings into the crowd. There's been several murders now, or people killed. A lot of people in the hospital because of cuts and bruises, etc. Can you see anything like this coming to the United States if things don't change?
Yeah, this is what I've been warning about on the constitutional sheriff's issue, is that the sheriffs have better be educated and prepared for these types of things. I think there's a very solid lesson in Cairo and also in Greece and other places where there's been economic turmoil and the lack of freedom, tyrants telling us how we're going to live our lives and controlling our businesses and personal finances and now health care. People in America are getting sick and tired of this. And the sheriffs of this country have got to be prepared to take a stand to prevent these sort of things. This is why I told Time Magazine and Chris Matthews and others that if the sheriffs do not get on board the freedom train and actually keep their oaths of office to uphold and defend the Constitution and actually put freedom first, then we're going to have some of these same things going on here. And the Cairo experience is showing us that the people were being peaceful. These protests were peaceful until the government infiltrated with their undercover police officers and others. When the government side got involved, it became violent. And the sheriffs in our country need to know and understand that they're responsible for keeping the peace in their counties and making sure that they keep, the tyrants and the feds out and at bay and protect their citizens from this type of abuse.
Derry, I want to agree with the sheriff. And additionally, another major factor in Egypt, I mean, this is a country of 8 million people. And one of the big factors that have led to this insurrection, this revolution, is the fact that they've had food shortages there. And also the inflation in food prices have been astronomical. You and I as Americans, we spend about 10% of our daily income to feed ourselves 3 meals a day. In Egypt, it takes those people almost 50% of their income per day to feed themselves a meal and a half. And so when your government is not feeding you and you don't have access to cheap food, people get upset. And we've seen the food inflation kick in to about 20% here in this country over the last few months. And for people to think that this potentially can't come to America, they're fooling themselves because it's starting right now. And that's what the USA Prepared Expo is all about. It's about educating people, getting them prepared for these type of situations in the future. So not only can you take care of yourself. Go ahead.
Look at what happened in this cold spurt. There were actually grocery stores that ran out of food here in America. People getting ready for this big snowstorm all across the country that took up, 2,100 miles across our country. There were grocery stores literally that ran out of food. I don't know if you saw those reports, but I saw them and heard them on the radio yesterday as I was going to Tucson. And this is already happening here. And when the dollar completely goes south and completely busts, and we have hyperinflation here in America, which is going to happen sooner or later. There's no way to avoid it at this point. But we're seeing these little glimpses from Cairo and Greece and other places. There is no way that we can avoid that here unless we are prepared, and that's why I really like this USA Prepares thing. This needs to be something that every American gets involved with.
You know, I've been preaching this now for years. In fact, Richard, I still have, a 6-month supply of food or something
Yes.
at home that I purchased through your organization back in it's been
1999.
Yeah, I was going to say it was preparing for Y2K, and everybody said,